Hello people, it's Healthy Tuesday on Yourview. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I don't do this alone. I have my lovely co-host here with me. Hi ladies.
Hello, Mariah.
Hi Nima. Akajat Zabiri. What's happening? Who are we shouting out to today?
No, I'm calling out on the Lagos State government.
Okay.
The last week Sherry Road was done, I think, 2000, and I can't remember exactly, but I was still in school in Lasso at the time. And on that long stretch of road, we don't have any pedestrian bridge. Now at Obadore, where my parents live, I was there yesterday. There was an accident yesterday, and a woman was crushed. She was in labor and wanted to quickly fill her gas before going to the hospital, and this car just failed brake. The bus stops on the road. The buses don't ever stop at the bus stop. They stop on the road at the entrance to each of the, especially that Obadore, for instance, the entrance into the communities where the buses stop. They don't get to the bus stop. So, you know, you can't even see what is happening in front of you. It's just not controlled on that road. Please, the last mile officials should be put on that road. The accidents happen all the time on that road.
Oh my goodness.
Yesterday was a terrible one.
Oh,
very horrible.
That's and I hope they're listening. Hopefully. That's a downer. Tokwe, how you doing?
I'm good. I want to shout out to Nima. She came through for my mom, and my mom had shops within the estate, and she had rented them out without knowing that it was going to be demolished. Tenant said that because they had demolished the shop, he needs his refund. No problem. I even told my mom that, don't worry, tell him that we'll pay him back, but we'll do it in installments, because we didn't know that the shop was going to be demolished and all that. And my mom said that the guy kept coming money. When he wakes up, the first thing he comes to the house, he came to knock the door, the money. At night, he will come again, the money, like he was doing that every day. Mom said, I told you, month end, I would give you the money. And then he brought he reported the case to the police station, because he said he knows the deputy DPO and all that. But I called on Nima, and they went to the police station, but at least I called on her, like, it was impromptu, and she made out time to go and meet my mom, followed her to the police station. I'm happy that I have the lawyer as a friend, and apart from that, a responsive and active lawyer as a friend. Thank you, Nima. God bless you.
Talking about mommy, yesterday, Mariah.
She cooked again.
How you doing?
Jesus Christ. How you doing?
Bitter leaf egusi soup.
Are you for Jesus Christ.
Because she's leaving today, mommy.
Please, can I come to your house and eat some?
You know, I say, I'm a busy woman. I don't get time to cook.
Small one.
You know, but I'm so super grateful. Honestly, it's really refreshing to have a mother that really cares about you. I really love my
Mothers
mom.
care in different ways.
My mom.
My own is caring. Jury. That one.
My mom
that
is
one. You standard. She be
my mom is on
never grow out of it.
I just love her, and wish her safe flight back to Kaduna.
I have to give a shout out to my mom's friend in the UK, Mrs. Adeboale. She's always watching us. She said she doesn't
We love
miss
you.
us. I just have to give a shout out to her. She's like, I don't miss it though. I don't shany. I don't will every morning. I'm only really. So I want to give a shout out to her. Thank you very much.
I have a lot of followers in the UK.
Yes, so a lot of UK watching this show. Interested. Okay, let's take a break.
We love
now.
our UK watchers.
And those watching us in California,
everywhere,
Serbia. I was like, Serbia.
And those in charge of the awards, stop being unfair.
Those being in charge of what?
The awards.
Awards.
Which awards?
Oh, okay.
Okay, right.
The people that are supposed to give us the award for the best show
this
ever.
Is the loudest show, the most watched.
Don't worry.
Stop being unfair.
Be unbiased. Right?
You are really trying your Yoruba.
Let's take a break.
She's growing.
She's growing.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Right, welcome back. We're starting with The Nation today. Presidency Osinbajo is executing Buhari's policies. Opposition trying to cause division between president and his vice, really. Picture here of 4,000 Okada vehicles, motorcycles actually, being pounded and ready to be crushed. PDP crisis, Makarfi warns of breakdown of law and order. Naira gains more as CBN pumps in $180 million. And Customs sees 9,000 bags of rice in Ibadan. Okay, so we have the presidency and we have Osinbajo and
So
the Customs. Yes,
special
go ahead.
Advisor to the president on political affairs, I can't remember his name again.
His name is Babajide Ojudu.
Ojudu came out to say that the people trying to highlight all the works of the vice president acting in acting capacity now are just trying to divide the president and his vice. That the president had given out these policies is merely carrying out the policies. For me, it's amazing how we accept that is a party mega plan in Lagos, but we do not want to accept that.
My dear,
it's one ticket. It's one ticket.
It's one ticket, and I keep saying that if the president did not empower his vice to do the job, this job that we're saying that we're celebrating, he will not be able to do it.
So we can't give
So
one
we
credit.
should stop, yes, because those kind of dividing lines. That's why police will say no. It is us that did it. It is us that captured. We are supposed to work in synergy.
Yeah.
Everybody, all hands on deck. I wanted to quickly talk about Customs seizing 9,000
Bags of rice.
bags of rice. Hey, Auntie. From the report, they raided another market in Ibadan, and they took about 8,000 plus actually. And the custom official was saying that these 8,000 plus worth of bags, the duty that was supposed to have been paid, you know, on those bags, it comes to about how much? 87.7 million naira. So that if they don't continue to do this, that they will not be able to recoup revenue.
losing money.
So we are losing money from these people that smuggle in items. They also collected about 111 cars, some drugs as well. They found drugs.
However, we are not collecting this rice from people that actually smuggle it in. The ones that have made the money, the ones that have cost us, the ones that have cost us the money are not really entirely getting it. When we smuggle, when we raid markets, it is the person that buys it. Those market people in Songo, they actually bought it.
And
No,
he will lead you to the person that smuggled it in. That's the idea.
This is a warehouse. This one is a warehouse.
So yeah, I mean, it's anyway.
They must cut it from getting in.
But first, if it's still the person that even you that are eating at your house, they can arrest you and say, take me to where you bought it. From there, they'll now figure out how you smuggled it. Okay, all right. They'll tell you they have probable cause. Moving on to to Punch actually. PDP reps split over Sheriff McAfee's crisis. Picture here of armed scam. Obanikoro's wife loses Abuja mansion to federal government, but she's appealed it. 25 Rivers INEC officials still hospitalized. 1 unconscious, says wreck. 4 killed as Ondo cults clash again. Bad leadership, not God. Response for Nigeria's woe, says Obasanjo. CBN pumps fresh around $80 million into the forex market. Malibu, Adoki, ex-finance minister, under fresh probe, says EFCC. Osinbajo consults Buhari on major issues, says presidency. Police inspector arrested with 75 bags of cannabis. And federal government evacuates 41 Nigerian girls from Mali. This mansion.
Okay. The Obanikoro's wife. Well, they say she's gone to the appeal court because a court ruled that she forfeits that property. And this is linked also to the 2.1 billion.
And she's saying
that
deal. She got this property 7 years before the arms deal even happened at all. So you cannot even, why are you going to link her to an allegation you have against her husband?
So fortunately, it's a court's finding, so she should appeal.
She believes that she has a case.
Yeah, so and she's even suing them 200 million naira for that.
No, but they've rejected, they've thrown that one out. They paid them 200 nimbo. This police inspector was arrested with about 75 bags of cannabis. That cannabis, the kilogram is about 800 kilograms, right? And the cannabis, when they did the calculations, it comes to about 4 million naira worth of cannabis. This is an inspector serving inspector, and they found these drugs in the truck, the police truck. They went to Okwila in Edo State. They were trying to crush these drugs, and that was how the people intercepted them. So the police is saying that a lot of even crimes also are linked to sometimes linked to all these things. So both the drug dealers were arrested, and this police inspector as well was arrested. So hopefully they will be able to charge them with something.
Moving on to Vanguard. Nigeria rises as CBN pumps $180 million into the forex market. Naira up by another 10 naira. Suswan remains in detention as bill bid flops. Federal government to diversify economy through made in Nigeria goods, says minister. Xenophobic attacks, mob loots shops overnight in Johannesburg, says police. 41 teenage girls rescued from Mali arrive Lagos, and presidency berates those rating Osinbajo above Buhari.
Okay, so I want to talk about the xenophobic attack as a follow-up to what we discussed yesterday. The Mr. Ikechukwu Anye, president of the Nigerian Union of South Africans, told the news agency of Nigeria that there were shops, Nigerian-owned shops, so the attack was on the shops that were raided, and that the shop belonged, the goods in the shop were looted by attackers, but the owner wasn't hurt in any way. So it's just basically stealing, taking advantage.
All right, so Nigeria is saying that we're going to be focused on made Nigerian goods. That's what our minister was saying, which is good. Hopefully, they're going to diversify the economy, focusing a lot on made Nigerian goods.
I love the fact that he also apologized to the Southeastern.
It wasn't him, it was Ogbe. It was the Minister of Agriculture that apologized. Said that he also was a victim of a husband attack in his own farm. But I'm happy that because the minister made it clear that even the boots the military uses is made in Abia State. That they actually produce all the military boots. That they need to just encourage them, and they actually can build an industry.
Time and time again, those guys in Aba are amazing. Imagine if the government just takes them seriously and give them the right equipment and the right materials.
Yeah,
we'll be able to produce quality things that
we
buy abroad.
I think they should hold their state governor accountable.
Yes.
Because the state governor is closer to them.
Yes.
The state governor can converse for them, say, I have built an industrial layout.
Yeah.
I have put all the structure in place, just come and produce from there, and we've provided a market by partnering people. But the government must step in. You can make your internal you don't even need any federal government revenue. You make that IGR from empowering your people.
So it's just the state. Okay, moving on to Daily Sun. Lagos to crush 4,000 seized motorcycles. Federal government will diversify economy through Made Nigeria Goods. Talked about that. Anambra campaigns for investment diversification. Diarrhea outbreak. Queen's College shot over 2 students' death. Protests rock PDP secretariat in Abuja. Malibu ex-minister okays $1.2 billion bribe, says EFCC. And Labour Party splits, suspends chairman, deputy, others. So Lagos is crushing 4,000 motorcycles.
Yes, so, according to
right
the
here in
Olusosun at Ojota here, the motorcycles have been impounded over time for contravening their traffic laws against riding in certain areas around in Lagos. So finally, they've gotten about 4,000 of them, and they're going to have to crush them.
Do we still have that law for motorcycles not to ply on certain areas?
It's not been implemented.
Because
the government has insisted that the police must ensure that it's implemented, that they shouldn't be plying certain areas.
The thing about motorcycles are that they're not registered. So when they impound your motorcycle, you don't even know how to, and they just lump them together like 30 of them. To start proving that you own that motorcycle is a bit difficult, and then the fines you pay to get them back.
They have a registration process.
I said most of them are
at every local government, there's a place where they register. I've met them before.
The Queen's College. Who read that story?
Yes, I read the story. The Queen's College, over the death of the 2 students that we took last week, they've had to shut down the school so that they can carry out investigations. But only the senior secondary school 3 students, those undergoing exams, are the ones left in school now.
And I think
the moment they are done with the maths exam, which is
the
principal of Queen's College, yes, to Edo.
And they've appointed a new Bola Are or something. She's in charge of Prince School right now. Okay, our final paper this day. Tinubu prepares for presidential run. Dumps PDP mega party alliance. South Africans attack more Nigerians. Naira strengthens to 435 Naira to the dollar on CBN dollar glut. And Imo, Sokoto, Kaduna PDP rejects sheriff. So, according to this day, former Senator Tinubu is running for
sources.
Of course,
the former Senator Tinubu has dumped. Former governor is no longer going to. Was in meetings with PDP. Sources say, and that he has dumped the plan of partnering with PDP, and now is like it's just sources speculating that he wants to run for presidency. He's considering vice presidential candidate.
Okay, well, anyway, 2019 is going to be hot. And we, the voters, need to be smarter in 2019. We need to just know. We shouldn't even vote for party again. Let's look for the individual candidates. We need to be smarter this time around because
your House of Rep member
is key.
Very, very key.
Local government.
There's only so much that the president can do. He's the member of the House that we need to be sure of. All right, that's all we can take on front page review. When we return, criminals posing as security officials. And later, we discuss saving women from endometriosis. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
Yes, thanks for staying with us. We've had a lot of recent reports on people falling victims to criminals posing as security officials. This has become a trend as criminals dressed in uniforms carrying identity cards and posing as military men, road safety corps or state of security men to rob or dupe unsuspecting members of the public. Recently, a Twitter user narrated a scary ordeal with men posing as officers of the Nigerian police force in Abuja. They accosted him as he was driving, and one of them proceeded to physically attack him. What are your thoughts on this and how are you protecting yourself? Call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourviewTVC so we can read your tweets. I know since the new IG came and even the Commissioner of Police in Lagos, they've done a lot of work to help re-educate and resensitize the entire force on taking their job seriously. But there are people out there who still use the police uniform or the police name, maybe old, maybe even suspended police or those have been removed from the force. They find a way to get their uniforms and then use it to perpetrate evil. I mean, I know somebody who's been through this ordeal where a police, somebody, I think late night around 11 p.m. she's coming out from a hotel. You know, so she thought police was random checks. You know around that Sanusi Fafunwa, random checks, police. So you stop, you slow down. So she had those few stops up until the bridge, which is normal with those police. But there was another one towards the exit to the Third Mainland Bridge. She'd also stopped. That was like the third stop. Unfortunately, there were thieves. And as they tried to open her ship, of course, she dashed off. And they just got that saved her life. But the point is that these things happen a lot around us.
Which is the part that I'm happy that, you know, keeping your cars locked. My husband is always screaming that you must always lock your car. I don't allow police officers to jump into my car, and they've tried it. And I tell them, don't jump into my car. You can talk to me from the window.
Yeah.
One of the things that the police, as the leaders in the police, the IG and the Commissioner of Police must enforce is that police officers do not have the right to jump into your car. Because that way we can, to a large extent, secure ourselves from immediate attack from criminals masquerading as police officers.
Okay, so you're right, you're very right. And I don't want us to focus so much on that. I want us to talk about this incident that happened and how Nigerians can actually protect themselves. Because the experiences we've had, I like our viewers to also share their own experiences. Have you almost at that near case situation where you think somebody's an officer and then you feel threatened?
A lot of times when we are stopped by police, no Nigerian would ask a policeman for an ID. It is not even in our training. So if somebody was, you know, masquerading as one, you know, disguising as a policeman, nobody would. How would you know? Because you'd never, even if it's not in their training to introduce themselves or show you an ID or anything.
But you can ask. I think I told her you can ask them.
If they come to your house, you need a warrant for such things. Usually, stop search is a normal routine every time in Lagos. You know, you are stopped. I usually even park very well. So if I were to be robbed, it would have been easy for them because if you stop my car, I would park off the road because usually sometimes they stop cars and you see the car parked on the road, obstructing traffic and, you know, pushing other people at risk. So I usually clear off. And then when I read this script, I was wondering that there were two times very early in the morning before daybreak where I was stopped with my son and only me. That's a vulnerable situation and I parked. I didn't even think about it. I just, he's a policeman, so I parked. He wants to check my papers, so, you know. So what measures do they put in place? What could I have done? I really did. I thought about it. I didn't think I had any
solution. You shouldn't be stopping because that's why we have those yellow lights blinking, the amber lights at night, because you just slow down and move on. You can't stop at the stop sign.
Now, for me, I think if we must solve, because you're asking a question, how do we solve the problem? If we must solve it, it must go back to the hands of the police officials. Now, when I was traveling in the US, from an app on my phone, I could tell that 2 meters away, 5 meters away, there's a police stop. It helps me to understand, okay, that there's a police checkpoint there and all that. But you see, we don't have all of those technologies here, fine. But you see, what we have their trucks, we have their RRS vans and all that. Ideally, if there's a police checkpoint, the car is supposed to be parked visibly on the road with the lights going, so you know that this is a designated police stop. But usually, you will see police people, they behave sometimes as I don't know, like how do I don't know, I'm trying to not to use a terrible word, but you see, you hide in the dark. You see the CMD road, it used to be so prevalent where people on that Otedola bridge, until Governor Fashola now built that the bridge properly, and then Governor Fashola put lights there. Every night people were being robbed there with the guise of police, what's it called? You think it's a police officer, you know, there, and when you stop, they rob you. Sometimes they won't snatch your cars. So I think if the police if they want to solve this problem, they are the ones that would actually bring the solution.
Let's hear other people's experiences. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Mariah.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you for this topic. Yeah, I think there's one very close to you. I don't know, maybe you've experienced that. On this, what's it called, Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, you see some people with a golf car stopping people without no reason, disturbing you. At the end of the day, they don't wear uniform. On Ogudu to Alapere. I don't know, maybe you guys have experienced that. Ogudu, Alapere, going to Tombelan Bridge. Just stop you, no uniform, nothing. So for the police, they drive the golf.
Okay.
I think we need to stop this.
Yeah. Thank you very much,
The government can also do something. They can also write, just like who has said, even though we don't have an app, as you're approaching at each stop, we know the kilometer per hour that the road is supposed to be. On each of those islands, they could also write police checkpoint down the road and all that. So that there are stations.
You know the legitimate ones.
Yes. The legitimate spots, so you can at least guess.
Another thing that we could do, because the job, it's not my job as a citizen to protect myself. It is the job of the police to protect myself. And so it is the job of the police to ensure that they fish out the people that are masquerading as them and corrupting their own name, good name in the society. So good suggestions gone ahead so far. However, one of the things is kidnapping also takes place. People say kidnapping takes place in the guise of people wearing uniforms. And it is easy. They jump into your car and put a gun to your side and say, drive on. You don't have a choice. And because we are scared, we've heard of stray bullets and people that just trigger happy police officers, we just always have to confirm that this guy has a gun. Oh yeah, let me just stay put.
Okay. All right, I thought I had a call.
Okay. So we should stop the police, like back to what I said earlier, that the police officers, and we should converse with as a people, that they should stop police officers from jumping into the car as a law, so that you don't open your car and you're not scared that if I don't open my car, they will not mistakenly just shoot me like that. But you need
to, I thought we see, where do we draw the line? Because police need to also search.
They can search, but don't come and sit down inside my car.
You don't have to search, you know, you don't have to, well
it's very important that they search. But in the course of searching, if a person, for instance, if I didn't trust the check, and I move on, and it's actually a genuine one, can they at least understand that, you know, I was scared? Because, you know, if you try it and as a genuine one,
oh, Labi, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, go ahead, please.
I'm every time caller.
Welcome.
Welcome again.
What really happened about all this police? I encountered sometimes ago around this Ofosu Oluku in Benin. They won't on their light. They are highway patrol. They will just park there. One was just like telling my driver that, come, do you know I can kill this man and no one will challenge me? I was just like, okay, just tell this man, what do you want to take? The man said, I said, actually, like, no, I just only understand little. Okay, and I give this man 2,000 to just release my driver. Just imagine that day that, okay, this man can shot this man and even shot me as well. You say something about Nigeria. We don't have a quick response tool that, okay, you can pull a call through and action will be done immediately.
No, but you can call 727
in Lagos.
That is in Lagos.
That's in Lagos, generally.
All right, thank you very much.
You know, generally, and you see, while I was in school, in university, people that came to rob us then, they wore complete military gear. And on this Lagos-Ibadan especially, one of my husband's friends was giving him his story that he picked, you know the way you pick people, you see somebody in a military uniform. He picked the guy up, and the guy entered his car. And you know what that guy did? He deposited a bullet in his car. But he didn't know that this guy saw the thing. So immediately he came down from the car. He picked it up and threw it on the floor. He had already radioed the next checkpoint, even the legitimate ones. He had radioed the next checkpoint that something is. So they kept searching and searching. It was God that saved him. Because already they even do that, you know, on the highways, not to talk of the people in the house. You see, also, if the police want to help us, if I'm able to call out, they should, see, this thing is technology we can use to fight it. You're talking about people that are retired or people that are suspended. Can we have a proper list where, if I pick your name, your number, and I type it somewhere, it will pull out your details. And I know that, yes, I'm dealing with a genuine police officer.
Same thing what Lagos State was trying to do with the plate numbers. You could just
the
type
number plate, yes.
and then you know if it's a registered car
So,
or not.
I mean, there are so many measures. And the truth is that because they understand the system.
Experiences, and hopefully one of these days we'll bring in a police commissioner or even the spokesperson to tell us what they're doing to prevent these things from happening going forward. Well, it's Tuesday. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, we're going to talk about saving women from endometriosis. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Endometriosis is a condition that affects many women in Nigeria today, and the awareness of this condition is more likely to decrease the growing rate of infertility cases. According to reports, about 30 to 40% of Nigerian women and girls are victims of endometriosis in the country, while over 176 million women suffer from the scourge globally. Joining us on the show is the Chairman, Governing Board Institute of Fertility Medicine, LASUTH. He's also the Chairman, Lagos State Committee on Perinatal and Maternal Mortality Reduction, and the Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology, actually, Lagos State University College of Medicine, Ikeja, Professor Adetokunbo Fabanwo. Goodness, each time you come, I know that I'm really not a lot of credentials. Welcome to the show,
Thank
sir.
you very much. I'm happy
You can
to
call
be
us on
here.
070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag Yourview TVC so we can read your tweets. What exactly is endometriosis?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, it's a condition in which the normal lining of the womb grows outside the womb. It's as simple as that. The womb has a lining, like a cushion, you know, which promotes the development of a baby if a woman gets pregnant. But that lining, if for some reason it finds its way outside the womb, that's endometriosis. Because what happens is that each time a woman is going through a menstrual cycle, that lining changes in nature. Eventually, if she doesn't get pregnant, there's a bleed. So if that lining is outside the womb, it's still under the same hormonal influence, and so it undergoes the same changes, and also there's a bleed inside. But because, you know, there's nowhere for the blood to come out, the blood keeps accumulating inside.
So what is now the consequence of that?
The consequence is that there are adhesions formed. Adhesions are like cobweb-like things which form inside in the pelvis, and they can cause problems with the fallopian tube. You know, they cause problems within the bowels. You know, and the pain that women with endometriosis have is from that.
Sorry, Nima, does this lining outside of the womb, does it occur naturally, or is something that probably you did that made it happen?
No, it doesn't occur naturally as such. There are some reasons why it may occur. There are so many theories about why endometriosis occurs. Some people feel that retrograde menstruation happens. What that means is that women, instead of moving their menstrual blood out of the womb, it goes back through the fallopian tube into the pelvis. There's a theory that says that. There's a theory that says that endometrial tissue can go through the lymphatics into other parts of the body. There's a theory that says that women who have D&C, dilatation and curettage, sometimes doctors may be pushing endometrial tissue into their bloodstream. There's a theory that says that the outside of the womb just changes nature and develops into endometrium. You know, so there are so many theories.
To follow up to that question, I wanted to ask that 30% of women, that seemed to be increasing. There was a time we didn't even know what endometriosis is.
The incidence is not up to 30%. It's about 6 to 10%.
Okay.
It's It's about 6 to 10%.
Okay, so I wanted to ask that does the bleeding from the outside, can having thick clots of blood during menstrual cycle be because of it? And for a young girl who has just seen her first period and there's a break of over 6 months to the next one, and then it starts with serious pains up until she's about, over her teenage years. How is that endometriosis? I just want to understand the symptoms, because a lot of people go through. Is she exposed to the risk of infertility?
Okay, let's put it this way. Endometriosis can occur at any point in the reproductive cycle. It can occur in very young girls. It can occur in older women. All right? The only thing that stops endometriosis from happening is menopause. As soon as a woman becomes menopausal, she's free from the risk of menopause, of endometriosis, because it is thought that a particular hormone called estrogen has a huge role to play in the symptomatology and the severity of endometriosis. And of course, after menopause, you don't get a lot of that. So now, the girl you're talking about who has pains could be endometriosis. Now, how do you make the diagnosis? First, there must be pain. And that pain usually precedes the menstrual period. It gets a bit worse when the period starts, but then it reduces in intensity as the period reaches its peak. Okay, so that's one of the classic ways that we make a diagnosis. Also, there will be pain at sexual intercourse. And this will be pain at deep penetration, not superficial pain. Okay, then women might also have a bit of irregular bleeds or even heavy bleeds. Okay, now if the condition is serious enough, some women may pass blood when they are urinating. That means that endometrial tissue is in the bladder. Sometimes they would pass blood when they defecate. That means that the endometrial tissue is in the rectum. Sometimes some women may have bleeding from their umbilicus, their navel, because the tissue could also migrate there. So each time the woman is menstruating, there will also be blood from the navel. Yeah.
Anywhere the tissue resides, there will be bleeding.
Anywhere, yes, you're right. Anywhere the tissue is.
Is it curable?
Okay, correct.
It's could be, depends on the severity. You see, this endometrial tissue, if you're able to remove everything surgically, then you can talk about a cure. But the rate of recurrence is quite high.
That's for those who have had it.
So, sir, there's a link between this and endometriosis and infertility.
Yes.
And maybe that's why we're even talking about it now.
Could you help us make that connection? Let's see how does it
okay, yes, all right now. You see, when that tissue is outside the womb, it's usually in the pelvis. The pelvis means the area around the womb, inside. There you have the fallopian tube. I've told you that endometrial tissue evokes a severe inflammatory reaction that leads to adhesion formation. Adhesions are like cobwebs. They're like cobwebs, that are in the peritoneal cavity. And those adhesions may hold down the fallopian tubes. So the fallopian tubes are not able to move when they're supposed to carry the egg, to meet the sperm cell. So that's the connection between endometriosis and infertility.
Well, can it be surgically corrected such that the egg is transported? Because there are women that have this condition and they feel that they can never have children again.
No, they can through assisted conception, IVF. Okay, yes. Women who have endometriosis, you see, let me break it down. When a woman has endometriosis, there are two issues. The issue of pain and the issue of the lesion itself. And then those who are infertile, maybe 3 issues. The issue of infertility. You need to address the issue of pain first, because the pain is debilitating, excruciating, and it reduces quality of life. So we have, you need to use painkillers to deal with the issue of the pain. Then you need to deal with the lesion itself. The lesion can be dealt with medically through medications. There are medications we use, usually hormonal medications, to try and see whether we can reduce the rate of the growth of the lesion. Then it can be dealt with surgically. And the surgical approach is that we go in, we look for the lesions, we cut them out, or we burn them. Okay. So if need be, we may remove the uterus in women who have completed their families. So that we would remove the uterus, remove the ovaries, so that we will create a kind of menopausal state for the woman, and she'll be free from the problem.
The success rate of surgeries?
It's high, you know, if you're able to get all the lesions. It's the recurrence rate that is.
No, but if you take off all the, for instance, for the woman, for the woman that she's done having children and all that, you take off the uterus, the ovaries, and everything, and the
lesions as well, so that she doesn't have pain.
Yes. So, yeah, for the lesions. So, is there going to be any chance of any recurrence again?
There may still happen.
If a young woman who has not had children insists on the surgery instead of any other method because she of having using any other alternative method to having children, what's her chance of still having children after a surgery?
Yes, you see, studies have shown that if you are able to do a good surgery, remove all the lesions, remove all the adhesions, and ensure that the tubes are patent. You're talking about natural conception now.
Yes.
There's a chance of natural conception. There's nothing that stops a woman who has had her endometriosis treated from a natural conception. I'm just saying that now there are easier ways, easier routes to conception.
All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we still have our doctor in the house. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. We still have our doctor here. Prof, the issue of diagnosis, because when you go to a hospital, there's a likelihood they either say it's ulcer, or you're having pain, ulcer or fibroid. Or PID. How do you get to the point where you ensure the doctor diagnoses it properly, or how do you even diagnose endometriosis properly?
Thank you very much. Endometriosis is a condition that is very difficult to diagnose. As a matter of fact, when I was training to be a specialist, we used to call it the masquerader. It's one of the conditions that we call masquerader. It comes in such forms. The only complaint a woman may give you is that she sees blood in her urine when she menstruates, or that she passes blood when she defecates. Now, you need a high index of suspicion to make a diagnosis of endometriosis. And one of the things that I teach my students and my resident doctors to look out for is that description, that my pain comes just when I'm about to start my menstrual period. And once the period starts, the pain starts to reduce. As opposed to fibroids, the intensity of the pain of fibroids is actually when you are menstruating. But the pain of endometriosis reduces when the period starts. So that's one of the clues we look for. And when you hear that, then you should search further. Now, carrying out a pelvic examination may not help you unless there is a mass, like an endometrioma, okay? Scan may not help you, again, unless there's an endometrioma. But the gold standard for diagnosis is laparoscopy and biopsy. Laparoscopy is a procedure in which we insert an endoscope and we look into the pelvis, and we can see with our koro eyes, we can see the chocolate filled cysts of endometriosis, and then we can take a biopsy, sent to the lab, and the diagnosis is made.
Let me take this call. Hello, morning, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please. Beatrice.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, go ahead.
So your name is not Beatrice. My name is not Bitu, please.
Which issue?
Okay.
The correct spelling is B-I-T-S-U.
Right, okay.
Okay, business.
Bitu, not Bitu.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, please.
And I'm calling from Kaduna.
Welcome to the show,
I'm
sir.
a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Honestly, you people are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, sir.
I have been listening to you people for over a year now.
Okay.
And I've been trying to reach you. I thank God.
Vitus, do you have a question concerning this condition?
The spelling is not correct. It's B-I-T-S-U.
All right, okay, all right. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. We have to, because I know there are people out there that have this condition and trying to get on the show.
A lot of people that I know, I think, have this condition. But so is there a possibility of naturally this condition resolving itself? Is there a possibility at all?
Well, yes. Once a woman becomes menopausal, the condition stops because she's not menstruating anymore. Okay, so that. Okay,
how does another condition help this condition? For instance, where a woman has PCOS, where her periods are delayed, does it help? Does it disguise the condition that you know?
No, you see, you're bringing up a complex matter. Now, let's put it. The physiology is this: as long as you are not undergoing a hormonal influence that will lead to menstruation, the condition will be abated. And there are so many ways of doing that. For instance, one of the modalities of treating this condition is to give a woman oral contraceptive pills. And the effect of oral contraceptive pills is that it knocks out ovulation and there's no menstruation. Okay, so it reduces the severity of the condition. But PCOS, endometriosis, a woman has to be extremely unlucky to have both.
Okay, let me take Femi from Magodo. Femi, are you there?
I'm there. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I want to ask the doctor. You said something about the painkiller, that when you want to, that you take a painkiller to subside the pain.
Yes.
So I want to know what you meant by saying that.
Wants to know what?
Yeah, the painkillers when you having menstrual pain, you know.
Yeah.
That you want to know what you meant by that. I don't understand.
Well, he's not a woman. I don't know why he's worried about.
Okay, anyway, but I want to
but you see, what we're saying is that one of the cardinal features of endometriosis is excruciating pain. And so one of the modalities of treating it is to administer painkillers. And we use potent painkillers because it's not the kind of pain that paracetamol would
But I wanted to ask a question, doctor. We know that, for instance, when you have cancer, ovarian cancer, if not checked, it leads to death and all that. This condition, because the word is a mouthful for me, what is if you leave it untreated, can it become fatal? Yeah.
No, it would not ordinarily lead to death, but the quality of life is severely compromised. You know, you cannot go to work, you cannot look for your daily bread, you are always in pain. And by the way, let me say that there are three categories of women. Okay, you know, there are those who would only have pain when they want to menstruate. There are some who will have no pain at all if the endometriosis is mild. And there are those who will have pain all the time, what we call chronic pelvic pain. They are having pain all the time. The luckier ones are the ones that would have pain just when they menstruate. Okay, but there are some that will have pain all the time. When the severity of the...
There was a popular... we have a popular
celebrity
that is still... that brought up this case, that it was a condition. When people were asking why she couldn't have a child, she said she was having excruciating pain, and then she took out her uterus, and so she had to do surrogacy to have a child. That is a viable option for people who are experiencing this.
Yes, of course. I mean, you know, if you must nurture a child, there are so many ways of getting a child.
You can freeze your eggs now.
Yes, you can do that. That's why I said assisted conception.
We have to round up. I know that there's an organization doing a walk, I think March 11th, concerning this condition, endometriosis. So I think we're trying to bring them in at some point to talk about the walk, because a lot of women don't know about this condition, and the diagnosis is really key. A lot of doctors don't even diagnose on time. They'll be giving you painkillers. Now, addiction to pain relief, I don't know, we don't have enough time. Painkillers. People get really addicted, and after a while, it doesn't
work anymore. Yes,
that's another issue.
So you need to be careful in the administration of painkillers, as many of those painkillers have their own side effects. The commonly used one, the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, they cause ulcers. They aggravate ulcers, you know, and they are so toxic to the body system.
The best method is actually to see a doctor.
See a doctor.
And treat the condition.
Hormonally, painkillers, because sometimes
endometriosis. We have to run out. Unfortunately, we have to run out. Thank you very much, sir, for coming. I think we learned quite a bit. We learned quite a bit today. That's all we can take on the show today. Thanks for joining us. See you. Bye-bye.